For our project, we watched and reviewed a documentary called The Plastic Ocean. This discussion is our thoughts on it. Here's our synopsis. Have you ever wondered, where does all our trash end up? Are they sent into space or do they somehow disappear to thin air? Well, most plastic inevitably end up in our oceans. This documentary shows the devastating impact that plastic has on the oceans and the marine ecosystem as a whole, the horrifying ways our trash ends up in the ocean and how it affects the marine life. In America alone, nearly 730,000 tons of trash is produced. Landfills aren't be able to contain the staggering amount of garbage coming in daily, so a lot of it ends up in the ocean. Garbage on our streets and landfills get blown into our river system and end up in the ocean. The largest factor of garbage building up in the ocean is littering. The pieces of trash littered on the coast follow the ocean's current before eventually ending up in the middle of the ocean. Thus, one of the best ways to prevent garbage buildup is to stop littering.
How does plastic impact the ocean? When plastic disintegrate and decompose, they will turn into small microscopic plastics that will flow throughout the ocean, drastically changing its overall composition. This will eventually make the ocean inhabitable for some species and organisms. The wildlife in the ocean, such as plankton, will consume these microplastics, and since most smaller fish rely on the plankton for their diet, these fish end up consuming the highly toxic microplastics. Not only that, these plastics also affect the bird population as they feed on these small fish. The copious amount of animals affected by microplastics is simply disgusting.
Food or trash. Birds will often mistake floating pieces of plastic as small fish while looking for food. An experiment was conducted where they cut open a bird to find out how much plastic could be found in its stomach. The answer was 234 pieces of plastic in a single bird. Shockingly, this is just about the average amount that can be found in a single bird. Most animals, including fish and turtles, are not able to distinguish between plastic and food. So, those animals will thoughtlessly end up eating the indigestible plastic floating on the ocean. These animals often end up dying by choking on the plastic or dying to the plastic toxicity.
It would be a mistake to assume that these microplastics only affect marine life and not us. In reality, most fish have traces of microplastics inside them, so unknowingly we have all been ingesting microplastics found in the fish we eat. To prove this, several studies were conducted by purchasing fish at a fish market and cutting them open. These studies show that most fish purchased had traces of microplastics that we humans also end up consuming. The ingested microplastics might seem harmless, but they actually significantly increase the likelihood of getting cancer. For the solution on how to reduce plastic in the ocean, there are multiple ways to do this. We firmly believe that the first and most important method is to educate society. Society's ignorance and negligence is what caused this plastic ocean phenomenon. Hopefully, by educating the masses, we can find some sympathy in our hearts and change our destructive ways. Not only for the benefit of animals in our oceans, but also for humanity as a whole. We strongly recommend that you watch the documentary Plastic Ocean as it educates everyone with what it contacts.